2024's Garfield. I finally got to see the new Garfield movie, which people have given mixed reactions to negative. And honestly, I don't think it's a bad movie. It's an enjoyable movie definitely for kids. As an adult, it's alright as an adult. What's funny is I'm kind of a Garfield fan. I grew up watching the Garfield and Friends, and I actually read the comic books a long time ago. And it's starring Chris Pratt, and it has Samuel L. Jackson, it's got Ving Rhames, it's got Nicholas Hoult, it's got a cameo from Snoop Dogg. It's an enjoyable kiddie movie. It feels like it was done by the people who did Despicable Me, Illumination. It feels like it was done by them. The villain's okay. Generic reasons why the villain is the way it is. I like the father and son dynamic, and there's a little bit of sad parts in the movie, and there's like a side plot with an ox and a male cow with a female cow, and I wouldn't say the funniest movie, but it definitely made me chuckle, and it definitely was better than the last live-action Garfield movies, because those two live-action Garfield movies were pretty bad, honestly. Like I said, the dynamic between the father and son was actually pretty good. John caring about Garfield and Odie missing. Odie is like the GOAT. He's like the most loyal best friend of Garfield in this movie. He's always got Garfield's back in this movie. They have to steal milk because the father character abandoned Garfield, apparently, and he has to go get it sounds bad. He has to go get milk. The villain wants them to get milk for payback because he left her behind and she got captured by the pound. And there's two goon villains that are actually kind of entertaining. I kind of wish they had more screen time, honestly, but the humor works. And there's a few things that don't sit right for me, though, is the modern technology in Garfield, like talking about apps and movie references, like referencing Tom Cruise. And what's ironic is Ving Rhames is in the movie, and they did have the Mission Impossible music playing in one of the scenes. I feel like the first 15 minutes and then maybe the last 20 minutes of the film are the best parts of the movie. There are some slow down scenes, scenes that could have been sped up, in my opinion. But overall, I think Garfield is a good movie for definitely kids if you want to go take them to go see a fun movie. And if you're a fan of Garfield or you're just a fan of animals in general, because it made me realize, man, I really miss my cat that I had. The flashback scenes with Garfield as a kitten, they were really good, surprisingly. But overall, it's not as bad as the critics make it out to be. I'd give it a low 7 out of 10. I was going to say like a 6.5, but it's about a 7. I think people are being overcritical. I know people didn't like Chris Pratt as casting as Garfield. He does an alright job. I think he did a much better job as Mario, but, that's okay. I feel like the casting is pretty decent. But my issues is I miss the friends, if you know what I mean. It wasn't just Odie. They had the chicken and the pig. I forgot there was another one. one of the characters. I mean, Normel or whatever his name, the gray cat. I always mess up his name. He had like a cameo at the end, and Liz has like a really, really, really small role. I feel like it's the early years of Garfield. He's not quite the Garfield you know yet. The same thing with John, because John seemed less irritated by Garfield, but in the comics and the show, he's a little annoyed with Garfield. But I feel like this is still the younger years of Garfield, if you know what I mean. But overall, it was better than I thought.